And hey, welcome everyone to Super Gamekast. My name is Aaron Reynolds. Here's your host, Bronson Fiore.
What is up, everybody? After weeks of vacation and COVID and every other possible thing happening to your Gamecast crew, we have returned.
Yep.
Besides Ninja, who is... He's sick.
Under the weather at the moment.
Yeah,
he is sick. And I'm just like sitting there like, that motherfucker caught COVID, didn't he? That motherfucker caught COVID. There's
We
no
love you,
way.
Jesse. We miss you, buddy.
Well, it's been going around, like it's increased, right? Like it's been on the uptick recently, and like Stella and I both got it. Now my symptoms showed up first, but quite frankly, I think either of us could have been the one who were the person who gave it to the other, because I'm like, okay, I really only have, even when working in the office, I really don't have contact with a lot of people. But on the other side of that, I still deal with deliveries. So all these delivery drivers could have also been plague carriers.
right.
On the verse side, though, I have also worked in that Microsoft office, and it is, in fact, a fucking petri dish.
Ugh, that's not good.
Fun.
Oh, yeah.
Not good at all.
I remember fucking corporate overlords bitching, like you need to fucking not get sick. It's just like, why don't you let us work remotely so this is not a problem for anyone?
Yeah, what an interesting idea.
Quite the concept, if I say so myself.
Yeah, so yeah, and Aaron, you were on vacation. You went to the far off land of Vancouver.
Yeah, I missed the first week due to helping a friend move, and then second week was I was in Vancouver, checking out what's going on in Vancouver. What's up?
Were you in Vancouver, Washington, or Vancouver, Canada?
Oh my God, this guy at the King Street station was so pissed at me because I said I'm going to Vancouver. He's like, which Vancouver? And I'm like, as a non-local, I have never given a fuck about Vancouver, Washington. Who?
Oh,
what?
Fuck off!
I think you go through once. If you're going to go to Oregon, you go through it, and I don't remember a goddamn thing. Like, I'm sorry.
All I know about Vancouver is I remember Anthony went there once and he really liked it. He was telling me how nice it was.
Are you talking about which one are you talking about?
Washington.
Okay. It's a city. I don't know. There's nothing really. I don't know. When I think of Vancouver, like, okay, here's my question. Who came up with the first Vancouver? They get to keep Vancouver. The other one has to turn into Vancouver City or something.
Okay,
hold on. Differentiate yourselves. This is bullshit, is all I'm saying. Anyway, no, I went to Vancouver, BC.
Okay, Vancouver, Washington was founded in 1825.
Okay, all right, that's pretty early.
And Vancouver, Canada was founded in 1886. So Vancouver, Canada has to change.
Vancouver, Canada has to change, despite being so much bigger. No, Vancouver, Canada has to change. That's amazing.
Yep.
All right, well, sorry, Vancouver, BC. Vancouver City. Yep. New Vancouver.
New Vancouver.
You can do
there
it.
We go.
So yeah, I went to Vancouver. I went to New Vancouver and had a good time. Good. Went and saw they had a gigantic park, so I walked around there for a while, checked out their aquarium. Went and saw Iron Maiden, who fucking
that looks sick as fuck.
They rule. Oh my God, like 100%. Like doesn't you wouldn't know if they were old just because like Bruce Dickinson's running around the stage jumping over speakers while singing as he always has, and it's like, Jesus Christ, man. I hurt my neck headbanging, and he's just like, whatever. So yeah, no, that was great. The one thing I'll share, which I'll probably share towards the latter end of the podcast, is I found like a gaming cafe, like an internet cafe, where it was just like 12, stations of gaming PCs. And yeah, you just paid for like, I don't know, $6 an hour or something like that. And
those are becoming more popular in the States.
Yeah. Yeah. So
like and same with like arcades in general. Like Oh man, I remember like it used to be like impossible to find an arcade, but like in Reno has like 5 of them now.
5. Wow. Okay.
Round one, that barcade on that near like in the hipster area town, Peppermill, Atlantis, and there's one other one I'm forgetting.
Oh, but those are full on arcades.
Yeah, no, these are like arcades.
Right,
Like,
right. I'm just wondering, like, where are these places where we can like rent a PC for a while and play video games? That's what I'm interested in.
You know what's weird? Game Force used to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Game Force in Reno. For those of you that like remember it before it shut down forever and ever and ever.
Oh.
Yeah, the dude just wanted to retire. I can't blame him.
I can't fault him for that. Okay. As
Yeah,
long as
like,
it wasn't like hardships.
Yeah, like homie just was like, I'm done. I'm
tired.
I'm done. Yeah.
I will.
Yeah, so Game Force, they used to have this thing where you could go in and pay like $5 for an hour to play any console and game they had there.
Okay.
Which was all of them.
Yeah.
So I missed a good chunk of this conversation. What the fuck happened?
We're talking about gaming. What are they called, Bronson? Like gaming cafes?
Okay.
Internet cafes, I believe they're called.
Is like the broad.
Huge.
They're where you go in Korea to play StarCraft for 72 hours and then die.
Got it.
Or Japan.
Yes. Yeah.
I know Japan is really big for having internet cafes.
Well, let me tell you, I think it's a really cool thing. It's not something I would do all the time, but if I had like a little bit of excess money, I'd probably spend once a week and spend a few hours hanging out there.
I would too.
I just can't justify it.
It's not necessarily worth the money, especially if you have all the stuff you need at home to do that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I got like a sick gaming rig and a fucking like every console, so it's like, eh. Now what would get me in is if they were renting like retro consoles that were like hard.
Which I've been to bars that have that, so like.
Yes, absolutely. Like, hey man, I want to rent a Sega Saturn and play fucking Burning Rangers.
Okay, all right, yeah. But what I will say is, I went in there. I was like, I was looking through their list of games, and just was like feeling the energy around me. Everyone's around here. They're all like 20-somethings playing Valorant or Counter-Strike or things like that.
As you do.
Yeah.
As you do.
And I was like, okay. If this is the mood, I'm going to do mine version of this. And so I booted up Master Chief Collection, and I started playing only Halo 3 for the next 2 hours in this internet cafe.
Yeah!
Yeah, you did, baby. Yeah, you did.
It was great.
I'm just reminded of Metal Gear Solid 5. Let the legend come back to life.
That's what it felt like. I was like, man, y'all don't even know. And then, and then it was Halo 3, and I'm like, looking at everyone doing like Twitch gameplay, and then here's like Master Chief, 2-ton Master Chief walking across a gap. Shit.
It's like the Jurassic Park where it's like something majestic, and then like it's the Jurassic Park theme on a kazoo.
This is hardcore gameplay. Everyone has to play at this speed. God damn it.
Oh my god, that is fantastic.
Weirdly enough, I I played some MCC this week myself, funnily enough.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. No, like
we'll probably talk about it after all the news, but man, I definitely want to talk some Halo.
Can we? Yeah, Halo is what's the word? The best, the absolute best. So, I agree.
I can find the right word to describe.
I just find the word for this. Halo's fucking cool. It's great. Yeah. Even when it's bad.
It's still good.
Yeah, you know what? Even the bad Halos were not bad video games. Like
it still felt like home. Damn it.
Yeah. Nah, man. Like fucking. Like what was real funny this like past week is like I've been playing all these new releases, but then I also keep going back to like Halo and other games I played in my like World of Warcraft Classic, and I'm just like, this podcast really is just old man yells at cloud, and I do
think
love it.
on some level that we just have to accept it, and there's nothing wrong with embracing what gets you going most. And goddamn man, Halo, just hearing the sounds of Halo, it's like I'm supposed to be here. This is it.
There you go. You want to talk about a channel rebrand? We'll just rename the channel Old Men Yell at Cloud.
I mean, kind of.
That's what we are at this point. We're just a bunch of old people yelling at clouds. Yeah.
Playing our 2000s games. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where we're at.
I gotta wonder what like 20 somethings think of like Halo Infinite even.
That's a good question.
It's because it's like rebounded on a Twitch. Like it's doing pretty well on Twitch now, actually.
Is it really?
Compared to what it was doing before, yes.
Yeah, yes. Compared to what it, like, I'm not saying that like, oh, it's gonna be the number one FPS on fucking Twitch, but like, compared to having like 700, 1,000 viewers, that kind of level, versus when I popped in this past like Thursday. Because like I've been playing a lot of Halo, and I was just like, you know, what does the mob think?
Yeah.
What does the internet mob think of Halo right now? And it was like doing like 6-7K, like it was doing like Final Fantasy 14 numbers.
It helps.
Okay, that's not bad.
It helps that the Halo Championships are coming up next week, and they've been building that one up. So I wonder how much the numbers stay. I can't imagine they're affected that much by the esports portion, but
I think it's only really affected by like when those are like active,
right?
Like when they're in the middle of the happenings.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't know.
They're not doing great this morning for whatever reason. Like 6:30 this morning.
In the morning is not doing well. But yeah, I wish we could get Game Pass numbers, because Steam numbers aren't encouraging, but of course they aren't.
But yeah, because I was gonna say, like, almost everyone I knew that played that game except Parker did it through the Xbox client or their Xbox.
Right.
Yep.
So
like I played that game on both of my Xboxes and the Xbox client. I have never once touched it on Steam.
Right. Yep.
So
we can rant about Halo Infinite in a bit here.
But we got the news. Speaking of old men soon to be yelling at clouds, Jim Ryan is retiring from being the head of PlayStation. Thank Christ.
Wow.
He will officially step down on March 2024. Hiroki Totoki, president, COO, and CFO of Sony Group Corp, will become chairman now and interim CEO on April 1st, where he will find a successor to run PlayStation.
Wow. Okay.
How long had Jim?
2019, to answer your question.
It's not that long.
Yeah, that's how he's been with PlayStation for 28 years.
Okay, he's been with the company for almost 3 decades, but he's only been running it for the last 4.
4, yeah. And so, like, the only really like big thing he's overseen is the launch of PSVR 2 and PS5.
Right.
And
shortly after he started running the company. So
I do not like this man or his initiatives at all.
Yeah, no.
I do not.
Thank God he's retiring.
I did not like doubling down on PSVR. I don't think that was a good idea. I love VR as a concept, but that is time and effort that could have gone away from other development resources.
As someone who wants VR to succeed, I was happy for it, but of course they made it all exclusive, so it was like, okay, all the cool stuff that you made, only people who can afford both the PS5 and the headset
and the VR
and the VR games,
Yeah, and then like
experience it. Great.
And that's like super niche, and like think about all the resources that went into that could have gone into like a new Wipeout and a new fucking Res or a new Killzone
some new game.
like the amount of R&D time and money that it takes to build a fucking VR system, like you probably could have gotten 4 or 5 video games out of that at least.
Yeah.
And then to still like, and then like you have to think that like, okay, they still have to support this thing, so what could be games for everyone on the platform is now games for the like 2% of people that own a VR set.
Mm-hmm.
Which I've heard the PSVR 2 is like the best VR headset now.
I believe it.
But it's costs more than the console does.
Right.
Yeah, so not right now.
Yeah.
Not gonna get
that. And then like he also oversaw like purchasing Bungie and a bunch of and I'm like being like, we're gonna make live service games now as well, and I'm just like, oh god, no.
I mean, they still got their first party, single player games out there.
They do, but this goes back to like allocating resources.
Mm-hmm.
And I get, okay, buying Bungie for that, but like, and then I also think about like, man, they had a bunch of games that would have been really good live service games that they just shit canned forever.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I remember when Jim Ryan came to CEO. This was when we really started like banging the Phil Spencer drum. Was like comparing Phil Spencer to Jim Ryan. Like, say what you will about what Phil Spencer's business decisions have been since he's become head of Xbox, but
up and down for sure.
Yeah, but like you knew that philosophy, you knew what Phil Spencer was about, whereas Jim Ryan was very much like, I don't think PlayStation fans liked him. Like, I don't think anyone.
No. I remember. Do you remember that that quote when he was at that like Sony event and they're like, they brought up backwards compatibility and he's just like, why the fuck would you give a shit about backwards compatibility?
That's right.
Like, God, Gran Turismo 2 looks so bad. Why would you want to play it over Gran Turismo Sport?
I forgot that was him.
Shit. Yeah, that was him. And then like you look at that, but then like you compare it to Phil Spencer, who like you can pull up his Xbox profile anytime. It's public.
Mm-hmm.
This man has 97,000 gamer score. That's more than I have.
Right.
By the way, granted, I'm split across multiple ecosystems, but still. And like you can see his hour counts for certain games. Like that man has played 300 hours of Vampire Survivors.
Yeah.
That man has played 85 hours of Starfield. 66 hours of Sea of Thieves. Like the dude plays games like 66 hours of Diablo 4.
Jesus fuck, dude.
Do those hour counts count sitting at the menu? I'm just
okay.
If I'm a
also...
shitty ass CEO, I think people are like weirdly obsessive about this kind of thing. I would start hatching a plan.
See, the thing
just leave it on like the starting.
Leave
screen
it there and be like, haha, nerds.
So the thing is, though, is like, he has the achievements to back up the hours.
Right.
Okay. Yes. So he's actually put some gameplay.
Yeah. So you want to hear funny CEO thing? He's played 300 hours of Solitaire. So
yeah, that tracks.
I'm sorry. What?
He's played 300 hours of Microsoft Solitaire.
Yeah. What? That tracks.
No, it doesn't. What the fuck? Okay.
Dude, I would play 300 hours of Solitaire.
That's I like Solitaire,
that's my
but
zen.
like 300.
Motherfucker.
I can't get over 100 hours on games I have on Steam.
Well, then he handily has you beaten several games.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Because
good.
So Destiny 2, he has almost all the achievements in, and he has 1,290 hours.
What?
Holy shit, dicks!
Yep.
Would it be funny if, like, I'm CEO, just give me the achievement points? God damn it! This is a condition.
No,
you have to.
You have to actually put in the effort. God damn it!
I love how every fucking week we have some new conspiracy theory for fucking what's happening with Xbox and Phil Spencer.
I just imagine him. He's on a Zoom call, but like every single meeting he's in, He's just like playing,
Solitaire.
I'm just playing Vampire Survivors over here. And like they're talking at him, like, dude, I can't. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
this is a meeting for a meeting. I don't care. Just
right.
You want to hear something really awesome? 117 hours of Elden Ring.
Sure. All right. Yeah.
117.
Get some, Phil Spencer.
Yeah.
Phil Spencer out here.
Some, bitch.
Phil Spencer out here getting good.
Oh.
All right.
So yeah, I don't know. Jim Ryan's just a business guy. Like, I don't think he was the worst. Like, he's certainly no Don Matrick or John Riccatello.
But he's also not. Oh my God, I'm forgetting his name. Jack Tretton.
Okay. Yeah.
He's certainly no Jack Tretton or like Kaz Hirai or this, like, hey, I made all these really awesome decisions.
Yeah, he managed a really important point for PlayStation, I think, but
yes,
he did not. It was very middle of the road.
Yeah,
he was very much maintaining their success. Like that was it. It wasn't
which isn't
this
hard.
Was not
right now.
No, it wasn't hard. Like it was very much the like, hey, this is a high end car, just put it in drive, don't fuck up. And that's one thing that we have to be mindful when comparing to Phil Spencer. It's like, Phil Spencer was handed a fucking burning fucking trash fire and was told, figure it out.
It was a trash fire. Yeah, no, we don't need to relitigate Phil Spencer and Xbox yet again.
Yeah, no.
But
yeah.
All right, well, so Jim Ryan's gone. We're looking at finding some new CEO, I guess.
I hope it's someone who's really passionate about games the way Sean Layden was, or Trenton was, or
Yep.
So someone like that. We'll see, but yeah. So
I hope whoever comes back brings back Kevin Butler.
Dude.
I think that style of humor would actually work really well in this day and age.
It was one of the best marketing campaigns, and it was just that guy being funny.
Yeah, it was.
Like I think that I think that'd work really well. I do think that style of humor doesn't work as well punching down.
No.
Which I feel like that's the hard part.
Well, all you do is talk yourself up. You don't even acknowledge the other competition.
Yeah, because most of those Kevin Butler ads were definitely punching up.
There was definitely some punching happening here and there, especially when we got to that E3 conference.
Oh yeah, the just that blue ponchos comment.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Because, for everyone who doesn't know, at E3 2010, Microsoft always had the press conference first. They were in the morning, Sony was in the evening. And Microsoft did to show off Kinect, did a full Cirque du Soleil performance. And had everyone wearing these blue ponchos that would light up at the stage and shit.
It's an odd choice.
And there was a lot of stuff about Don Matrick Xbox that you're just like, it was kind of where Sony is now, where it's just like, oh, we can just coast,
right?
Yeah, we can just put out good games and coast.
Yep,
and do weird shit. And then one of the comments when Kevin Butler showed up E3 was just like, so I heard there was a fire sale on blue ponchos. Yeah, some shit like that.
That's right. Oh God.
Man knew what he was doing.
Yeah, no, and then he got busted for breaching his contract on a technicality.
The biggest technicality. He was selling tires, and the promotion was, hey, buy some Michelin tires, get a Wii, or Bridgestone tires. It was one of those, and it was like there was a Wii that you would get. And that was it.
And then Sony was like, you can't promote 2 game systems. Dude, I'm not. I'm promoting tires.
Oh, my God.
I'm just offering.
Hell, you could poke fun at that in the next PlayStation commercial. And it's like...
Yes. Exactly. You could fucking do a lot of shit with that. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's dumb. Dumb.
It was a great marketing campaign. I actually booted up my PS3 this past week because I was trapped in the living room.
Oh, okay, sure. All right.
Because I was down with the sickness.
Yeah.
And I actually had some of those old Kevin Butler commercials downloaded on there.
Oh, that's great.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
some of the best stuff.
Yeah, no, easily. Very, very. Just they were great ads. That is one of the most memorable ad campaigns. If you people, I implore you, if you want to see some funny ass PlayStation 3 and PSP ads, go look up like Kevin Butler ads.
Yeah, Kevin
They're
Butler.
So good.
Yeah.
Amazing. And,
without question.
Checked his IMDb page, and he's still ripping it. Like, he's not getting a whole lot of acting jobs, but you see the clips of him acting.
He's still doing some shit, though?
He's still hilarious. Timing and gestures, just man knows what to know. He knows what he's doing.
It's a real bummer that every quality actor like this can't get some fucking real full jobs.
He's a character actor that will show up for one episode of The Good Place, and then his character dies, and it's like, okay, well, shit.
Damn.
Oh man.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, see you, Jim Ryan. Let's see what happens with PlayStation going forward.
Bye. Shuhei Yoshida. That'd be pretty sick.
Why not?
Ooh, Yoshida. Okay.
Yeah, let's get him to the top. Let's go. All right. So but in bad Sony news, hey, guess what? Nearly 7,000 current and former employees were part of a data breach.
Ooh.
Oh no!
That's bad.
We're working with a third-party forensics expert and have identified activity on a single server located in Japan used for internal testing for the entertainment, technology, and services business. Sony is taking the server offline while the investigation is ongoing. There's currently no indication that customer or business partner data was stored on an affected server or the other Sony systems were affected. There's been no adverse impact on Sony operations. The fuck? What? You wouldn't say that even if there was. Clop is the ransomware group that claimed responsibility for the breach. Ex-users Falcon Feed posted on the platform in June that Clop used an exploit in the movie, its vendor progress software, allowing it to steal movie IT databases. And then they admitted that 2 data breaches occurred along with side data breaches and some other shit.
They took responsibility for the data breach?
Yeah. Along with disclosure of the data breach, Sony informed victims of the attack they are being offered Equifax credit monitoring and identity restoration services. Each person impacted was given a unique voucher code valid until the end of February 2024.
Yeah, okay.
This is one of many to hit PlayStation, including the infamous 2011 hack, when PS3 and PlayStation Portable Network suffered a severe month-and-a-half-long outage with 77 million accounts compromised.
I remember that. That was brutal.
Yeah, I remember that SOCOM got really fucked over by that.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that, like, Mortal Kombat, Portal 2, and SOCOM all came out the same week. All 3 of those games had big online components. And then if you were like me and primarily playing on PS3, it's like, lol, go get fucked for the next 6 weeks.
I remember that, like, crystal clear. For whatever reason, one of those, like, key moments was me in a very tiny studio room sitting on the floor playing my PlayStation 3, just playing the Mortal Kombat 9 story mode because that was all you could fucking do. Because, yeah, shit's down.
I remember Mitch and I wanting to play Portal 2 co-op and both being like, well, can't do it. Man. No way to do it because we both bought the PS3 version. I guess we're fucked.
Wah, wah.
Wonder how Mitch is doing.
Being amazing at PlayStation games.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm still friends with him on PlayStation Plus.
Okay.
Or PlayStation. And, like, this dude platinums almost every single game he plays.
Nice. Wow.
Sounds like my brother.
Get your money's worth.
Yeah, like, this dude...
Yeah, sounds like Brandon.
Yeah, like I'm gonna pull up my PlayStation friends list right now, but it's like fucking insane. Like he has almost every game he touches, he gets a platinum.
Wow.
Almost every single one.
That's my brother.
Ugh.
Every game that my brother has ever gotten for like PS3 onward.
Well, yeah, that's when trophies started. Was like the middle of PS3's lifespan.
I could never.
It's a lot of time. It's a lot of effort.
It's not just like time and effort. It's just like there are so many platinums that are just unfun.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like the biggest problem I have is like there's just
Pretty much.
He has 313 platinum trophies.
Holy shit!
Yep. He platinum Resident Evil 4, Gran Turismo 7. Looks like he's working on Street Fighter 6, but he's probably getting installed by the tournament one. Final Fantasy 16. He has the platinum in Elden Ring, Twisted Metal 2, Ratchet and Clank, God of War, Stray, Sifu, Spider-Man, Deathloop, Final Fantasy 7 remake. Like, yeah, he like basically like for every 10 games he plays, he probably platinums 9.
Man, wow, good for him.
Oh, that's damn.
All right, well, that's bad. This is bad here.
This is Sony has had a streak of these over the course of many years, and I don't know if it's just their IT security is bad. I don't know if the way they just originally set up their system makes them more vulnerable to this kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Network security is one of the like big gaps in my like computer technical knowledge things. Like I know the basics, right?
Right.
So I don't know how you would fix this. Like if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, I don't know. I imagine it's hard.
Yeah. Definitely. I definitely imagine it's very difficult. Especially because people, especially for big companies like this, like there's someone attacking the system every 2 seconds probably.
Yeah, right.
Like that. It's not like some tiny company where it's like, oh, you get one a month maybe. I know. And like as someone who has been, I was a victim of one of these once. Not Sony, but for the ESA when they had that E3 data breach.
Yep.
Data breach. I was a journalist who was attending E3, and the years that they apparently got info from were 2 of the years that I went. So fucking
Perfect.
awesome.
Great. Oh man.
So
as hell. All right.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully everyone gets through just fine without dealing with too much bullshit.
Yeah, at least they're paying for credit monitoring and restoration services. So
that's something.
All right. So we're back to being an Xbox podcast for the next couple stories.
Yay!
I have honestly thought about getting like Sean Capri on again to be like, hey, do you want to play into this bit of us not being an Xbox podcast and field Xbox questions for the next 2 hours?
Oh God.
That man would probably have some good insights.
The problem though is that like we can't predict. It's always like what's the Xbox news? Is it going to happen or not?
Like I would literally just be giving him questions like, so we last had you on during Xbox's 20th anniversary where everything was kind of sunshine and roses.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about where they've been since.
Yeah.
So the next news story, of course, is Microsoft reportedly plans to buy Activision Blizzard next week.
Well,
the Verge reports it'll seal the deal on October 13th. A giant corporate merger happening on Friday the 13th.
Yep.
Pending final approval from the UK, it'll go through just 5 days before the October 18th deadline. Last month, the CMA provisionally approved Microsoft purchase. Microsoft has already defeated the USA's Federal Trade Commission and obtained approval from key regulators within the European Commission and secured an agreement with console rival Sony, a provision to keep their games on PlayStation for a decade. It is worth noting that FTC has an appeal lodged with the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in the U.S. The decision on that isn't due until early December. The FTC also has an administrative case of its own, waiting in the wings, but it won't kick off until 21 days after the Ninth Circuit makes a call on its appeal. Thoughts have already turned on Microsoft's integration of Activision Blizzard into its business, the future of games such as Call of Duty. Phil Spencer indicated work would need to be done to get the games on Game Pass once the deal closes. Phil Spencer saying, quote, "I want to make sure people know that there's work to actually move games to Game Pass," Spencer said. So for the people who think the deal is going to close and everything's available, that's not true. It hasn't been true in other acquisitions we've done. There's work for us to do, just mechanical work for us to do so. So it'll definitely take time to get those games in the portfolio. Yeah, dude, it takes like 6 months. We saw it with Bethesda. You know.
Right, yeah.
It's not going to take long for you to get anything, like, with the exception of the, like, stuff like Warcraft, which has a subscription.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot envision them taking more than like 6 months to get all of this onto Game Pass as soon as possible.
Right. Yeah.
So I just want them to stop, like, the FTC and the CMA and all that. Just like, we know you're gonna let it through, guys. We know.
It was gonna take a long time, but here
like
we are.
The game is done. This farce is over. You know, like, yeah, that's. I don't know, like, what more you could look into.
Yeah, they've been thorough, it sounds like. So,
you know, like, and then like the one hookup in the US was Call of Duty.
Yep.
That's sorted.
Yep.
The one hookup in everywhere else was cloud fucking gaming.
Right.
So I don't. Yeah.
Well, okay. It'd be nice to. I'm gonna wait until I see the story come out. That's what I want to see. I wanted this to be over.
I just want to. I want to click on IGN or Video Game Chronicle on Friday this week and be like, it is official. Microsoft has bought Activision Blizzard.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Yeah. Speaking of Microsoft products, Redfall. We all loved Redfall, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We totally didn't play it for like 4 hours and be like, this is horrible. And log off.
A game.
Oh.
It is a video game that came out in the year 2023.
It sure did.
The year of our Lord.
Yep.
So, well, hey, the long-awaited performance mode that allows the console version to hit 60 FPS is coming out.
After how long?
I mean,
5 months, almost 6.
And also, was that the problem?
No.
Like, 60 FPS is nice, but
was that the problem? Absolutely no.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So they are, and then people are complaining that there's no since there's no matchmaking in the game, I could never fill a team. No way to safely find players to play with. A bunch of people asking for it to go free to play. They've still promised the Hero Pass, which will provide 2 future heroes with unique powers and gameplay. They have yet to provide a roadmap for their release. And yeah.
So what they could do is work on making the game fun. And once they do that, then you turn it free to play to get that fresh wave of people in. There's your way of saving Redfall if that's really your intention.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I was Phil Spencer, I would go to Arcane and be like, look, we're going to cancel this game. We're going to leave it on Game Pass, and you guys can patch it and support it for a little bit with, performance updates and balance updates, but no more characters, no more anything. We're going to refund
no DLC,
the people who brought the Yeah, we're going to refund the people who bought that DLC pass, and then all of your work is going to be on Dishonored 3. You focus on
Let's
that.
go.
I mean, here's the thing. First of all, I have a fondness for genre horror kind of properties. So having like this vampire co-op thing is cool. It's a new property. I like seeing new IP and people taking chances on new IP. I think there is work that can be done to make this game fun. It requires, changing a number of things. So if they wanted to save, I think they can. Like,
I think they can. I just don't think it's worth the effort and the money and the time, especially when this studio can be making a Deathloop 2 or a Dishonored 3 or like a bunch of other games that have done well for them that are single player games, which they seem to have more of an eye for.
Right. Yeah. No, they would need to change the way that entire game works. And yeah, I think there's long been a desire for a Dishonored 3. Like that is a franchise that you see tattoos on people in unfortunate places for that game. It is so popular despite having 2 games. Yeah, I don't know. There's something there. I just feel like there's some work happening here that should not be happening. I feel like there are priorities to making this game work that are not good or balanced or performance mode was not the problem.
Yeah, yes, and I think that the amount of time and effort it would take to unfuck this project is not worth it. Like the fact that you would basically have to design the game from scratch.
I mean, it would you could do some things with the enemies. Like one of the things was we would just run into a vampire or two and it'd be like, okay, we're dealing with this one vampire or two. It just was not exciting. The guns didn't feel good. You would definitely have to redo like the whole guns. Maybe keep the same weapons, but like just make them feel better. And then make the enemies more engaging and more exciting to fight because they can be threatening, I suppose. Most of them weren't. But there's some tweaks they could do instead of having to remake the entire game. There's some stuff they could do, but it would take a whole lot of work. And yeah. So okay.
So all right. Moving forward. Some more stuff about the Series S has come out from Remedy.
Oh.
So, Remedy is the fine folks who've made Alan Wake and Control, and Alan Wake 2 is coming out in like 2 weeks. I want to play it, but unfortunately it's coming out when I'm in San Francisco for Halloween. Video games!
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Stop it!
Everywhere.
So basically they really opened up about the challenges developing for the lower powered console. The big quote in the IGN headline here is, "You can't have the best of both worlds." The news split. So, Phil Spencer has insisted games launch across the more powerful console and less powerful but cheaper Series S. But the underpowered Series S represents a kind of a headache for Microsoft, and developers are looking to make the most powerful take advantage of the PS5 and the Series X, but the Series S can limit them possibly. In an interview with IGN, Remedy says Alan Wake 2 is a graphical showcase on current gen consoles, but also says the Series S, the CPU is pretty much the same as the Series X, but the GPU is an issue. It really is. And then having less memory is a pretty big problem. We often get, okay, you make PC games, surely you know how to scale. Well, memory is not a problem on PC. It really isn't. And that's one of the struggles when you talk about resolution and frame rate. It's just not enough to drop the resolution heavily. That's what we're doing on S, and we're really working really hard to make sure the visual quality still holds up. People accept that on a weaker PC, the visuals are not going to be as good, and your frame rate's not going to be as good. That's a big difference on the Series X and S GPU, and people mention this game did so well and all that, and every game is different, every developer is different. But you can't have the best of both worlds. You got to choose where you're going to focus. The Series S is $250, and the X and PS5 are $500 to $600. There's a massive difference in power. It's a lot easier to scale on PC because of the memory, and it's not like there's one super PC and one weaker PC. There are like 300 PC configurations, and in between, and trust me, that's a massive struggle, and we've shipped a lot of games on PC, so we're a bit bitter about that. We've worked really hard on Series S to get a solid 30 FPS, and we tried to maintain good visual quality, but if you want to see the game at its best in full next-gen glory, it's going to be on the machines that have the hardware grunt to enable that. You know, and then they aren't the first developer to express this concern. In October, a visual effects artist who had worked on the Series X and S said in a now deleted tweet, many developers have been sitting in meetings for the past year desperately trying to get the Series S launch requirement dropped. Studios have been through one development cycle where Series S turned out to be an albatross around the neck of production, and now games are firmly developed with new consoles in mind. Teams do not want to repeat that process. In an interview with Spencer has deflected questions about the Series S is holding back developers and rejected calls for developers to be allowed to release their games on Xbox Series X only. Having an entry-level price point for a console sub $300 is a good thing for the industry. I think it's important. The Switch has been able to do that in terms of kind of the traditional plug into my television console. I think it's important, so we are committed. Yeah, I hold by that. I think the Series S is great for the games industry. I do. I think having a $300 system that plays next gen full on experience is, even if they are lower res or lower frame rate, is great for the industry. Legitimately, I do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's hard. I get it.
Yeah, it's super hard. Like it is very much a yeah, could you have an easier time if you were just making games for the Series X? Yes. But like the Series S is 75% of the Xbox console ecosystem.
That's the thing.
Like most people I know who bought Xboxes besides me and you, Aaron, bought the Series S.
Right.
Because it was an easy, oh, here you go.
It's an easy entry point, especially in generation where a lot of people just went, got a PlayStation 5 when they were available and able to. When they heard, when you hear Xbox offers a low price point version, it's like, okay, cool. This is my way to multi-console if I so choose.
Or you're just tight on cash.
Yeah.
I know plenty of people who don't have a ton of money. And they $500 is a lot, but $300, that's significantly less. And then you think about kids, right? Or a teenager. If I was a teenager and you told me, hey, $250 to $350, you can play all the current games, and yeah, they don't necessarily look as good, but you're a teenager, so you're probably on a 1080p monitor anyway. And hey, for $15 a month, you can play all the current shit.
Yeah.
That's a big win.
It's a pretty amazing deal.
That's a huge win for that consumer. And I think if the sacrifice is hey, Baldur's Gate 3, because they've said Baldur's Gate 3, they're just having it take split screen out of the Series S version. If that compromises, hey, we're gonna have to take split screen out of the Series S version of Baldur's Gate, or hey, we're gonna have to take, we're gonna have to release Alan Wake 2 at 30 FPS, 1080p. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The big thing I would take away from this is I hope more people play some Alan Wake.
Yes, Alan Wake 1 was spectacular. The remaster is on fucking everything, so you should easily be able to go play it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Go play some of that there Alan Wake.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Well, yeah.
So yeah, going forward, speaking of good video game news, hey, guess what?
What?
Epic Games has laid off about 16% of its staff, which equates to a whopping 900 people.
Man.
Rough.
Yep.
This story set off a whole bunch of backlash because there was all that Unity shit that happened.
And yeah, Epic was coming out like, well, our cut's really good, and blah, 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 blah.
We got a great engine. We're not doing stuff like this. And then there were some quotes from Tim Sweeney out of this story where everyone's like, "Oh, okay, so Godot is our new engine now."
It's like, and then you have the fact that like they bought Bandcamp and sold off Bandcamp.
Yep, that's gonna go well.
Yep, and then they bought Harmonix, and Harmonix is now just making shit for Fortnite.
Yeah,
man, what a bummer.
Yeah, and Rock Band DLC still comes out.
Yeah, so that's like, don't let that go.
Yeah, please don't.
Don't go into that dark night. Rock Band live on forever,
please.
For the love.
God damn it.
So yeah.
Yeah, this isn't good.
No, not at all. Not in any way, shape, or form. That's shitty. Apparently they're getting some level of severance, is what I've heard. Yeah, they will receive 6 months of severance and health benefits, which that's better than anytime I've gotten laid off or fired from a job, at least, I guess. Better than nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is good. There are some people who are not getting that in some of these stories.
Yeah, and then if you figure you could stack your severance with your unemployment, so
yeah,
you'll figure it out essentially. But like that's still shitty to have like a super limited amount of time to get what you need.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So. Ugh. Frustrating. Epic Games not doing what it needs to be done. But
yep.
Here we are.
And then Fortnite's year-on-year revenue has gone up every year, but they still got to do this. And one thing to remember is, and notice that's all these game studios and tech companies doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And here's why. Because every game and tech company thought the pandemic would last forever for some fucking insane reason.
Because they don't think long term.
They were like, man, so many people are playing and playing our games, using our services. Fucking, we need to hire, we need to expand. And the only one of those companies that hasn't done massive layoffs is Apple.
Mm.
So
Yep.
Good on Apple for not massively overestimating how their business would expand. Good on.
Sounds like it.
And I've heard that they're great to work for. So.
All right.
Yeah. But they're also, like all these tech companies, high stress as well. So, but yeah, this is God, man.
Yeah. Sucks. It's Epic. It's Epic Games. How are you mismanaging this while having Fortnite?
Well, apparently they were running at a loss for a very long time, like thinking eventually, like, oh, we'll be okay, we'll expand, and and then that profit didn't come soon enough, apparently, and well, here we are.
Yeah. Man. God damn
it. Profit not coming soon enough, homie.
Guess not.
and that's shitty. Like that's
Yes, yeah.
It's just unfortunate. Like especially because like, oh, you gotta work for Epic Games, and and like this shit happens.
Yep.
I guess
Sucks.
that's yeah. So
all
right.
On slightly happier news, I'm having our Twitter account follow a Jack and Daxter fan page. Just letting y'all know.
Yes.
Sure. Let's do it.
I saw Jack and Daxter. I was like, man, fucking Jack and Daxter. That's some good shit.
Well,
I miss those boys.
Yeah.
Speaking of Naughty Dog, who made Jack and Daxter?
Oh no! Right? Yeah.
Oh god. It's good news or bad news?
Bad news.
Bad news.
So currently there are rumblings of the Last of Us 2 multiplayer being canceled. Along with that, however, sorry, what?
I said great, good.
And then apparently layoffs were communicated internally at Sony Santa Monica last week, and the majority of these people have been laid off. A ton of people have been laid off, but for Naughty Dog's case, it is mostly QA testers. The sources say at least 25 developers were part of the downsize. Full-time staff do not appear to have been part of the cuts. The Naughty Dog headcount was over 400 as of July. So they're losing 25 people. Although their contracts won't be officially terminated until the end of October, and they'll be expected to work through the rest of the month. So he did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Despite hit ratings for the HBO Last of Us adaptation, a multiplayer spin-off for the zombie shooter based on the game's factions mode has struggled in development. Bloomberg reported in June that Sony had diverted resources away from the project following a negative internal review by Bungie. The recently acquired live services powerhouse behind Destiny 2, one source now tells Kotaku that the multiplayer game, will not completely canceled, is basically on ice at this point. The layoff also just comes a few months after the co-president of Naughty Dog, Evan Wells, announced his retirement after working there 19 years. Neil Druckmann, creative director and lead co-writer on both the recent Uncharted and Last of Us games, as well as contributor to the HBO show, revealed a restructuring of studio leadership around the same time. And that's basically it.
Man, that sucks.
Yep. Sucks real bad.
Yeah.
All
right. Well, good luck to those people. They deserve to have good jobs.
So you have to think, Naughty Dog has been kind of the golden goose for Sony.
Yep.
And it feels so weird for Sony to buy Bungie and then have them go and critique the multiplayer projects of other studios.
It's interesting, right?
It just feels gross and weird. And then there's been all these like rumblings coming out of like a big like Bungie is dictating stuff for other studios within Sony.
Yeah. Weird. Very weird. I don't
like it just it feels weird and gross and confusing. So yeah.
Okay. Man.
Man.
Sucks.
Yep.
All right.
So
what's the next story?
Next story is Telltale Games is laying off employees.
Great. More layoffs. Fucking awesome.
Layoffs!
God.
You gotta make investors even richer! Let's go!
So, some people use this story to find out that Telltale exists again. I found out.
They put out that they put out The Expanse, which came out earlier this year and apparently was pretty good.
That's what I hear.
I had a dude who I worked with at Microsoft who said this Expanse game was great. And then that was like the extent of my knowledge. And then like I was excited for Wolf Among Us 2. Like they put out that trailer and it looked awesome. Especially because it had fucking Proto Man music in it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's fun. Okay.
Yeah. it was supposed to come out this year, and then it got pushed to next year, which, but then, maybe it's looking like it's not coming out at all.
Man. All right.
Which sucks because that trailer they put out was lit as hell.
Yeah.
So lit.
So back to the story, though. Telltale Games has allegedly laid off, and this is in quotes, via the Escapist story, most of its employees last month. According to one of the affected, the former staff did not provide any further details as a result of an NDA. As of yet, Telltale has not responded to the claims either. Former cinematic artist Jonah Huang made the claim on X the other day, adding he was unable to comment on the status of the long-awaited Last of Us 2. Or not Last of Us 2, sorry, Wolf Among Us 2. It's the second time that we were talking about Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
It's the second time that Huang has been caught in a layoff surrounding Telltale. He was also among those affected by the original studio closure back in 2018, having then worked as the lead cinematic artist on Batman: The Enemy Within and Minecraft Story Mode. The laying off of employees from Telltale has been expected as the company has just finished publishing the Expanse, a Telltale series. It's not unusual for staff to be let go after winding up a project. However, given that the game was developed externally by Deck 9, it should not have any significant impact on the team working on The Wolf Among Us 2. This news also comes out after Telltale acquired Erica developer Flavorworks as a means of increasing its ability to commit to game streaming technologies. And this comes as part of the Naughty Dog Epic Games Crystal Dynamics 343 layoffs.
Man. It's bad. This year has been a real bad year for it's been a real good year for a lot of good games coming out, and of course in the same year it's been a real bad year for game developers getting laid off.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm hoping it's true that the Wolf Among Us is fine.
Yeah.
The game will come out good and everything will be okay.
Right.
But we'll see. And as always, for all these stories, for those affected by the layoffs, I hope you land on your feet. I hope things go good for you. Yeah. Speaking of Bungie, we were just talking about that a minute ago.
We were.
I hope you're ready for more good news.
Yeah, not by that tone in your voice, Bronson.
Okay, let's just do it.
Positive news! Not really, never on this show. Never.
Never, ever.
We need to get to this news so I can talk about Halo and feel happy again.
Oh, buddy.
All right, let's talk about it.
Well, this is related to the people who used to make Halo.
It sure is. Yeah, you're right.
Former Bungie HR manager is suing for wrongful termination after she reported potential racial bias.
What?
Yeah.
What?
She alleged. Oh boy. She alleges her recommendation.
Tea, honey. Let's go.
She alleges her recommendation for sensitivity training were met with hostility and denial. Destiny 2 and Marathon developer Bungie is currently being sued for wrongful termination, as mentioned above. In a complaint filed earlier this year in the state of Washington, plaintiff Ingrid Alam recounts that she was hired by Bungie in May of 2022 as an HR manager. Coming to the job with over a decade of experience, just a few months into her employment, she was instructed to investigate the performance of a particular employee referred to as James Smith. But when she sat down to speak with Smith, he allegedly pointed out that he was the only black employee on a team of 50 individuals and expressed that he felt he was being singled out and racially targeted by his supervisor. Alm goes on to say that she shared this information with her supervisor and recommended that Smith's supervisor receive diversity training, but alleges that her recommendation was met with hostility and denial. She was also told that individuals she was recommended to take the training had been there for a long time and are, quote, highly regarded. And her recommendation was denied. During a follow-up discussion about the incident sometime after, Alm was additionally told by her supervisor that she didn't want to touch these conversations with a 10-foot pole.
Great.
Following this, Alm alleges Bungie recommended terminating Smith's employment. Alm says she disagreed, saying that this would be a racial bias. And in September, approached Bungie's director of equality and inclusion, Dr. Courtney Benjamin, for advice. Benjamin suggested that terminating Smith would be too risky considering the evidence, and advised a written warning be given to Smith instead. However, Alm alleges that her supervisor became extremely angry, in quotes, at her for having reached out to Benjamin and given her a written warning over an email. Alm's supervisor also called Benjamin to apologize for Alm approaching her, supposedly telling Benjamin that she didn't want to think that she was a racist. Later in September, Alm claims she was placed in the needs improvement category during a review, despite previously having excellent reviews from both peers and clients, and was told by her supervisor to look for an off-ramp and exit from the job. Shortly after, Alm says she found her email and Bungie platform access cut off without explanation, and despite multiple attempts to contact her supervisor, received no response for several days. Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay, great.
Oh, but wait, there's more.
Fun.
At the end of September, Alm was informed that her resignation had been accepted, despite insisting that she has not intended to resign and wanted to keep her job. She says she declined to sign a document stating she voluntarily resigned, and then an email she sent to the company's chief people officer, Holly Barbakovi, explaining the situation went unanswered. Bungie's response to Alm's complaint is brief and does not include an alternative narrative of events to counter hers. Bungie instead either flatly denies almost every part of Alm's narrative without further context, or denies them with the statement that Bungie acknowledges Bungie lacks knowledge or information sufficient to form a belief as to the truth or falsity of these allegations.
Mm-hmm.
Bungie is representing the case by Mary DiPaolo Haddad, a Fox Rothschild lawyer who professes expertise in wrongful termination lawsuits, dismissed and developing strategies that serve my clients' financial and maximum goals and minimize costs when litigation is unavoidable. Alm is suing Bungie for retaliation, wrongful termination, and is asking for recourse in the form of lost past and future wages, damages for emotional distress, and attorney fees. A trial is set for January 22nd, 2024. Notably, Alm was hired at Bungie just 5 months following an IGN report on the company's culture, in which over 25 employees the company had a history allowing the toxic culture to fester, including racial and gender bias, with those who reported such incidents to HR, alleging their reports were frequently dismissed or turned against them. Following the report and prior to Alm's hiring, Bungie's former HR head stepped down from her role. IGN understands from its sources following its 2021 report, Bungie also hired a new HR personnel in an effort to address the issue in the article amid some pressure from their new parent company, Sony.
Man, this is bad at Bungie.
Rough.
And you know that story is legit because Rebecca Valentine wrote it.
Man.
So,
yeah, and Rebecca is like...
Yeah, she's on point. Multiple awards for being a fucking great journalist.
Yeah.
We love.
With receipts for
Valentine.
Bungie's history, like they hired an HR manager to fix the issues and then fire her through this whole series of events. Like, yeah, okay. All right. This is fucked. This whole thing is fucked.
And while this is going on, Bungie is Destiny 2 5-0.
Yeah, shit.
No,
What'd you do?
It's fire truck.
Oh, okay.
What did you do, Emily?
I didn't do shit, motherfucker.
Out here committing arson and shit.
Gotta bring these rent properties down somehow.
I mean,
graffiti, not arson. Jesus. All right. So, yeah, and all this while Destiny 2 is in a real shit place.
Right.
Yeah.
Man,
this is not a good look for Bungie right now. Like,
yeah, and then like announcing Marathon as like a Tarkov like is what it looks like. It's just like, dude.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, like you want to talk about like I was already on the fence of like never returning to Destiny, but this.
Are you still on that fence, or have you jumped in and not coming back to Destiny 2 at all?
I am definitely leaning towards the not coming back to Destiny 2 at all.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
the thing is, though.
Yes.
Sorry. The thing is, I'm looking at this paragraph. Almost hired at Bungie just 5 months following an IGN report on the company's work culture. 25 employees alleged the company had a history of allowing toxic culture to fester, racial gender bias, and those who reported to HR just dismissed it. And then later on it says Bungie also hired a number of new HR personnel. I'm just like, oh, Bungie. I gotta show my love for local developers. But at the same time, Bungie, this is not looking good for you.
Yeah, this is real bad.
Yeah.
This is real bad.
You gotta
either
treat people
admit
good.
this.
Or
we'll all see your ass in court, bitch. Let's go.
Yeah, no, I mean they're already going to court, and you know it's
January 27th. Oh, but I'm down in California at that point. Fuck.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Yep. So.
All right. Great. Damn.
All right. Well, let's talk some happy news.
Okay.
I saved some happy news for the end.
Did you? All right.
So CD Projekt Red spent roughly $125 million turning Cyberpunk around post-launch.
Jesus.
Repairing the game's reputation with Edge Runners, the 2.0 update, and Phantom Liberty. CD Projekt Red announced that the expansion starring Idris Elba cost around $62.7 million to develop, and another $21.6 million to market. That brings up, along with that, the presentation that bringing Cyberpunk up to next-gen console standards, including the update to graphics, cost around $40.9 million. The three figures together bring the total around $125.9 million. Cyberpunk itself cost the company $316 million. At the time, The Witcher 3 comparatively cost around $81 million. So with inflation, it's more like 105.
Okay.
Despite the hefty cost of turning things around, CD Projekt Red has arguably pulled off one of the biggest turnaround stories in video games, launching such a poor state that it was delisted from the PlayStation Store. Cyberpunk now has a very positive rating on Steam, with 87% of users recommending it. And with the newest update, IGN gave the review a 9 out of 10. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah, they were really invested in saving that, and it seems they pulled it off.
Yep. And then, fun fact, CD Projekt Red even included a way for players to turn down the events of the paid expansion altogether, with certain dialogue options locking the missions away for good on that save.
Oh.
Yep.
And there's no way to go back and...
Yeah, you just have to do a new save.
Fuck.
With this, Cyberpunk 2077 has surpassed The Witcher 3 in sales, selling 25 million copies. Which is up 5 million from September of last year. The Phantom Liberty expansion has also sold 3 million units in its first week. Yeah.
CD, they just pulled off the biggest hat trick.
Yeah, this is like arguably the biggest comeback for a game I've ever seen.
Ever.
Like
good on those guys.
The state that game was in at launch versus where it is now, this is like literally the biggest turnaround I've ever seen for a video game.
Right.
Like, it's huge, and it's well deserved. Like, I started playing it last year after I heard it was mostly fixed, and yes, it is a fucking incredible game.
Miles better than how it was when it started.
Absolutely incredible game. Yeah.
All right.
If you haven't played Cyberpunk 2077 yet, get on that, man.
One day.
I've not played
it's
it at all.
it's an incredible game.
One day.
Yep.
One
And
day.
then I actually forgot to mention this story because we didn't have a hyperlink to it. Counter-Strike 2 surprise launches on Steam. They were just like, haha, Counter-Strike 2, it's out now. It replaces
Hello.
your it replaces your CS:GO client.
Hey, I'm sorry. Real quick, there's a comment. Michael in the chat asked, "How much money did they make after spending all that money?" Which is a good question. Does that say in the article here? Because it says Cyberpunk 2077 surpassed 25 million units sold, which you have to think is quite a bit of money.
Let's find out. Also, thanks for watching, Michael.
Yeah.
Okay, so this story is from March of this year.
Okay.
So it looks like 116 million.
Okay, so they're not there yet, but we're fresh off Phantom Liberty, right? So.
Yep. So yeah, they could make their money back in theory.
Yeah, they're on their way. But man, wow, to work so hard to get back to even.
Yep. Yeah, like that's. But okay, but then they're gonna make money off the Netflix licensing.
Mm-hmm.
This expansion's been out a while, so they're gonna be making money off the expansion for a while.
Yep.
And then they I feel that this is a good long-term investment, because it's like, okay, now people are invested in the world for one reason or another, and now they can start making other Cyberpunk games or continue making expansions, yada yada yada.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you, Michael, for the question. Good question.
All right, Counter-Strike's out.
Counter-Strike's out.
Yeah.
They fucking stealth dropped Counter-Strike 2. Like they were just like, haha, your CS:GO client is gone. And it is currently the most played game on Steam.
Okay.
Yep, by far. It is
interesting.
It is almost doubling the second game of Dota 2.
Wow.
And almost tripling the third game of Baldur's Gate.
That's nuts.
Oh. Wow.
It is. Yeah. It seems like it's in a pretty good state, but it's missing a bunch of stuff.
Oh, that's no good.
Go had, and then also the fact that you play CS:GO on a Mac, you could not play this on a Mac,
right?
So,
damn. Well,
so yeah, all the reviews and stuff are carrying over from CS:GO, and everything carries over from CS:GO. The real funny thing is I played this. I might get into it and what you've been playing, but there's only one achievement for the game. It's basically playing a match.
Great.
Oh shit.
So if you want 100% Steam achievement on a game, there you go.
Man. Ridiculous. Okay. Well, I'd hope the Counter-Strike players enjoy.
Yep. So yeah, I played some of that. I'll go over it when we do what we've been playing.
Which that's our last news story. So
yep. We're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll be right back.
All right, bear back, guys. Hey everyone, we're back. Hello.
We're back.
Hello.
Hi. Hello. Hey, we played a bunch of video games.
Yes, we did.
You did specifically, Bronson. Good lord.
I was sick all week.
I mean, that's fair, but holy shit, Bronson.
Yeah.
Also, that's 2 weeks worth of games, to be fair, because of the whole,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, last week we weren't able to. Yeah. Okay.
This is true.
So yeah, it turns out when you're at home with COVID, you're not gonna do much beyond sleep and play video games.
True. Well, time to go down the list.
Yeah. I want to start with something you and I both played. Hey, you and I both played some of that there Halo.
Man, I've been playing some Halo recently.
Halo. Yep.
Yeah, started
Uh,
with me just kind of going into a gaming cafe and like you need to pick what's a game to play with a bunch of, esports people and people doing, playing video games like that. I was like, well, if I were to have a game that I were to attempt to do that with, it would definitely be Halo 3. So that's what I booted up.
is Halo 3 like there has to be like still competitive playing for Halo 3, right?
So the Halo Championships are happening in Seattle.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that.
That's like Halo Infinite though.
That's Halo Infinite, but they have side tournaments, and one of them is just straight up for Halo 3. So, like, it's not like esports, but people are playing it.
It's like Evo, but Halo.
Uh-huh.
So I should fly to Seattle and try and bring back the glory days, eh?
Yes,
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
If nothing else, you can get a signatures of the voice actors for Master Chief, Cortana,
Keith
and
David
the Arbiter.
is gonna be here.
Keith David's gonna be there.
Yes.
So that'll be
The
good.
Arbiter.
Yep. Man, it makes me want to go. Let me tell you. But yeah, so I've been playing some Halo 3. I've been checking out a little bit of Halo Infinite in my time, and I know you have as well.
Yes, I have been playing a lot of actually, honestly, MCC and
Yes.
Infinite. More Infinite for sure. Just man, Halo is so good. It's like they so I will say like they finally got Infinite where it needs to be.
Right.
Like there's so many maps, so many modes. Like when you go into like matchmaking for Halo Infinite now, there's like so many fucking playlists now.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's actually kind of crazy how many fucking playlists there are. I actually couldn't believe it. I was kind of overwhelmed when I loaded the game up and saw how many there were.
There's a lot.
So there's that, and then there's like all these maps. The events they're running aren't lame anymore. Forge is crazy. They've been pulling community maps into the matchmaking pool, and in squad battle they're 8v8 mode because they have their 12v12 standard big team battle, but then they have their 8v8 squad battle, and it's mostly maps from like Halo like 3, like 3 and one from 4.
Yeah.
And it's just like, hey bro, do you want to play these maps with all this crazy shit happening, and the gameplay is really balanced and fun, and just yeah man, they just, if this was the Halo Infinite that was like there even a year after launch,
yeah, then
this game would be a wild success. Like a wild success versus now where it's kind of just it's successful, and Forge is crazy. Like they straight up like made Waterworks from Halo 2.
Right.
They made Rat Race from Halo 3 and Valhalla and like all the like Zanzibar. Like they have full on working ass Zanzibar.
Yep.
I mean shit.
Getting those maps that the devs aren't, because why not?
Yeah, the devs are pulling them into the full on stuff. It's awesome. It's so good.
So yeah, so I after playing I played Halo 3 Master Chief Collection first, and it's just nice to jump in and check out Halo 3. They've been constantly making items for Halo 3 and like older games, and I think that's fucking awesome.
On my Halo 3 character in that game, he has an original Xbox on his back.
Yeah, I saw that. It's a fantastic item. So I was super stoked at that. And then I moved over to Halo Infinite. Now, I'm gonna say a lot here. So I'm gonna start at a certain point, and it's going to move to a different point. So I just need that time. Okay. Man, I cannot stand the customization stuff that they do for Halo Infinite.
What do you mean?
So I think I do like that you can access like multiple. You have your winter season thing happening right now, and then they have you can activate one, like the first battle pass for free.
Yeah, none of the battle passes go away.
Right,
Like,
and none of them
they
go
are
away.
forever.
That's
Like, so-
that's obviously fantastic.
Well, you want to talk about another part that's cool about that is if you finish a battle pass, it gives you enough currency to buy the next battle pass. So
Really?
Yes.
I
So
didn't count it out.
the-
Does it really?
It does. It does. So if
Okay.
you don't spend any of that like Halo coin thing,
Right.
like you will literally only have to buy one battle pass. Because I
Yeah.
only bought the first one, and I've literally just been collecting currency and getting the rest of them for free. Like I'm on the second most recent, or I'm actually on the most recent one now.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like I
That
fully
is the way
have.
to do it.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think that's brilliant. This is probably the most consumer-friendly battle pass system I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway, to continue what you were saying, you hate their cosmetics because
Yeah, it's a lot of it is, you know, because it's a free to play game, so a lot of it is like you got to purchase that shit. There is no way around it.
Which I mean, I think that's actually like I am definitely a proponent of either pay for the game up front and get everything for free or almost for free outside of like a seasonal thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or alternatively do a subscription model, i.e., Final Fantasy World of Warcraft.
Right.
But I understand they went free to play, and that I'm just like, yeah, cool. It's not that big of a deal.
It's
For me personally, at least.
Yeah, it bums me out, especially because I jumped to Halo Infinite from Halo 3, and like this, all right, that's a bummer. And a lot of one thing I hate more than anything is fucking Destiny's color scheme. Bundling your colors together, and that's what you got to do. Because a lot of them, in my opinion, a lot of them are fucking ugly.
In Destiny or in this?
In this. More so in this than in Destiny. And a lot of the good ones are obviously you have to pay. Like,
yes, that is something I was very annoyed about. To get the shade of red I wanted, I had to pay like $5.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know you were kind of miffed about that shit, but hey, it's worth it. It's worth it.
But it's worth it in the sense that I've played 90 hours of this game.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. I definitely got to a point where I was like, okay, then I'm just going to make my guy look like Master Chief and just not give a shit. Because this bums me out. So, yeah, everything surrounding the gameplay part, I'm like, I just don't care for it very much. The way they've handled it just feels shitty. I think the Forge mode is super cool. But unfortunately, it is at such a level that it at such a depth that I'm not going to be able to touch making anything cool in there. Apparently, the theater's not the theater mode is not functioning well. It's not functioning well.
That is something that I have always found interesting. Is like the best theater mode. And it's not even the MCC one. It is the original Halo 3 load up the game one.
Yeah.
Which is so weird to me that like the first time they ever did theater, it's like it's the best one.
Yeah, very strange because I remember that was an adjustment trying to learn how to use the theater mode when Halo 3 first came out, but for some reason they never made it better.
They were just like, just like we got it perfect the first time.
Right, which I love theater mode. I love going into theater mode after a match and checking out what happened.
Absolutely,
some good shots. But...
So what about the gameplay? Isn't
so the gameplay is great. I think the actual playing the video game is a good time. I think the movement that this game allows you to have is so great. One of the best things that's ever happened to Halo is every game is moving faster than us. The more time passes, we can be at the bottom end of the speed Overton window, but we need to elevate this a bit.
Yeah, like I remember Anthony, who has really only played old Halo mostly. Mm-hmm. Like he's like, I'm just like, okay, follow me. And he's like, oh, I cannot do what you are doing.
You gotta sprint, you gotta slide, you gotta jump out of the slide, going down a hill, and then you got clambering. You got to make use of that clambering, unless you use your crouch. Like old school. You crouch to get up, then you can skip the clambering and keep your gun out. There's stuff to use your repulsor to jump high.
Yeah, the repulsor, it's so good.
Repulsor's good. Grapple shot's good.
Yeah, like they've been trying to add another pillar to like Halo's like core gameplay loop of weapon, grenade, melee forever, and they finally did.
They did it. Yep.
Like, because like they tried equipment, and then they tried armor abilities, and they tried whatever the fuck Halo 4 did, and then they tried like the really crazy intense move, like if you think like the movement abilities in this game are like Halo 5's are like 10 times crazier. So it's just like they finally found a good like middle ground, because like I loved Halo 5, but I'm also one of those people who likes Halo like super quick and sweaty.
Right.
Like I realized that it was probably too much for the average Halo player.
For the Halo player, yeah.
Yeah, I think that and this is coming from someone who like in like most games I play, like the core gameplay loop is like my primary concern.
Yeah.
Which is why even when this game launched, when it was lacking a lot of content, I was like, whatever.
Well, yeah, no, when this game first started, like, yeah, everything around it was broken, but you would actually play it, and it's like, this is Halo. This
is dope.
It'd just be nice to have more maps, and nice to have some callback maps.
Some more modes, like more in matchmaking, and they finally got there. Like that, I remember when this game launched, I remember saying that like if they fix this content issue, this will probably end up being my favorite Halo. And they largely have.
They definitely still have ways to go.
Yes,
ways to improve.
What do you think that those are?
That's a good question. I've been reading subreddits, and people are just really. First of all, right now, people are really pissed about map rotation. Right now, like people are getting a lot of like 80% of the maps they're getting are dredge, or they get stuck on one, and it gets real fucking tiring. And people are not all that enthused by these maps. Like good enough if they keep them rotated enough to keep things fresh. But
that's an issue I ran into MCC also.
Really?
Like MCC, like I'll do Halo 3 big team battle, and I will like end up on Longshore and Sand Trap like every game.
See, I actually checked out my MCC stats, and my most played map is Avalanche. I'm like, I fucking hate Avalanche, dude. Oh man.
Yeah, like it's. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe that's a 3-4-3 thing.
I don't know.
But
yeah. Some people are voicing concerns with the battle rifle, but like I don't know.
I think that their best maps are actually their 4v4 maps. I think their 4v4 maps are great. I think their big team battle maps are just wildly unwieldy.
Right.
Like it just feels just. And this could be a side effect of moving from 8v8 for big team battle to 12v12.
Okay.
I feel that could be part of that. You know, but like, man, it's like, yeah, I'm annoyed by some of the cosmetic stuff, and the map rotation can be better. But like, when I get into matches, I'm just like, fuck, it's so good.
Time to play some Halo.
Like it's and this kind of this is like the only one of these kind of shooters around,
right?
Like I love arena shooters, but it's like this and COD has a very different feel than this.
Very different.
Like COD, it's like it's who sees who first, who can get that rifle up and bomb first. This is like you have a maneuvering level to it, and a combat to it that happens.
Yeah.
And that's really fucking awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. And the campaign's great. Good campaign.
Right. So I'm excited for us to get into playing it on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm so fucking ready. I'm a man on a mission to finish the current battle pass before the new one comes out on the 18th. The 18th.
Oh shit. Okay.
So I have all the battle passes done except the most recent one.
Okay.
Because I finished the last season's. So I finished up through the winter update, and then I finished season 3, like a couple days ago, and now I'm on to the most recent one, season 4. And I'm like level 7. I'm like, okay, the new challenges come out Tuesday. And if I just fucking bust all those out, all at double XP, because I have a ton of swaps left,
Yeah.
like I should be okay.
Yeah.
And that's, if I don't make it, it's whatever. It's not like it's a time factor, you know. Like that's once again, that's one of the nice things, because like I really enjoy Destiny, right? And I enjoy Destiny a lot, regardless of the terrible company that runs it.
Right.
But one thing I can't stand about their battle pass is like, I feel like I have to play the game nonstop to finish it, because otherwise, if I don't do it by the time the season ends, the rewards are gone forever.
Right.
And like, you know, it's like, well, that's shitty. I paid for those rewards.
Yep.
You know, like that's the whole reason I paid for the fucking battle pass.
Yeah.
This isn't like when an item in Final Fantasy or WoW goes away, where it's like, well, I'm paying a sub for the whole fucking game, so it's like, you know, it's
not completely gone.
Yeah, I didn't pay $10 for this specific content that,
right.
You know.
Yeah. No, it sucks. So the way they handle this here, not a lot of people do it this way, and they should.
No, there's a lot of stuff about Halo Infinite that's like very like customer friendly. Yeah. Yes, I don't like the cosmetic store, but I also understand it's free to play.
Yeah, I get it.
Like they have to make the money somehow, you know, and it's just
it's definitely a case of like, I'm going to try and push through all the battle passes and get everything unlocked, and then see what I don't have unlocked and makes as few purchasing choices as I can.
I am going to be honest, other than the cat ears, and so there have been like 3 things that I bought from the Halo Infinite store over the 2 years I've been playing the game. I bought a Sergeant Johnson icon thing for my profile. I bought the color red, and that's it. I almost they almost got me with the cat ears.
Right.
Almost, almost being the operative word.
To be completely fair, though, I am like, it gets really hard for me to buy cosmetics.
Sure.
There have been only 2 games that have successfully got me to throw money at cosmetics, which was Overwatch 1. Oh god, me and Ray just lost our minds on those fucking loot boxes. And then Heroes of the Storm. Like, Heroes of the Storm, I bought so many skins, so many characters.
You didn't get anything for Sea of Thieves?
No, I never bought any cosmetics for Sea of Thieves.
Interesting.
Not once. There were a bunch that I really liked and kind of wanted, but not enough for the prices that they cost.
All right.
Especially because like the free ship stuff I got was like genuinely really good.
Yeah.
Like I got the Halo ship and the Xbox ship.
Yep, that was some of the best ships. Yeah.
So I was just kind of like, oh, like, would I like the Cameo ship or the Banjo ship? Like, yeah, but am I willing to spend $25 on it? No.
Yeah. Prices were high.
Especially like, you know, especially because like the way I like to play that game, I get to enjoy my ship for a little bit and then
watch it burn.
It has holes in it, and me and Ray are escaping into the sunset.
Right.
Yeah, like it's you know, it's, and like maybe with that new captain thing they have going on, sure, I'd be into that, but no, it's like, but yeah, those are like the big ones. Like, I'm going to spend big money. It's like the first Overwatch,
right? And
then it was like the first Overwatch, and then the Heroes of the Storm. Like they and Heroes of the Storm made help by the cosmetics for Heroes of the Storm were fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had They had glam rock etc.
Right.
Yo.
Fucking yo, do you want Batman Kelthus?
Right.
We got
Yes,
Batman
please.
Kelthus. You know, like they did a bunch of really fun alternate universe takes on these Blizzard characters. I was like, okay, this is fucking. And then like I was playing that game like every day. Like me, Anthony, and Ray every day were in fucking Heroes of the Storm. So it it ended up being well worth my time and money.
Right.
Just like if I was doing that with Halo Infinite, like I had a group of people playing it with me every day, like I'd be probably a lot more willing to throw money at it. But even then, like none of the cosmetics for me personally fucking make me go, oh yeah, fuck yeah.
Sure.
Like and the thing is like most of the stuff I really liked, like your head on fire, the flaming shoulder pads, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They're like those are for finishing the battle pass.
Right, which makes sense. That's what you want. Yeah.
Yeah, like, like it's just like, oh, I really like that pose. Oh, that pose is in the battle pass.
See, I just I found a lot of the cool stuff was not earnable. You had to purchase it, and that just bummed me out.
Yeah, I think that the stuff that like, granted, it might just be the shop is not great right now, but like, yeah, like I really like this Spike Cyberpunk set. But then they did an event like, and then a lot of the stuff that's on the store was actually stuff that was from events that happened prior.
Some of it, yeah.
Like I have like the Cyberpunk visor thing, and that was totally a store item.
Yes,
that was totally a store item that I earned by playing that Cyberpunk event.
Yes,
like,
some of them are that.
Yeah, which
is
I don't
cool.
know how I feel about that. Like, oh, okay, well, I guess if you miss the event, it kind of sucks that you have to pay, but
yeah,
it also is a really good way to get you to log on and do your fucking events.
Well, until they sell it.
Yeah, but like, okay, this is going to go up in the store.
If you're there playing it when it comes out, like, yeah, there's an incentive, but
yeah,
I don't know. That goes back to the conversation of, do you want items that are only achievable during like a certain point in time?
I think that I want items that are only achievable by doing crazy difficult shit.
Yeah,
that's my big, like, this is something that like I really love in like Final Fantasy, for example. I love the ultimate weapons in Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
I think that is a smart as fuck thing.
Yep.
I feel the same way about whenever a legendary comes out in WoW. Like Warrior, Death Knight, and Paladin are getting a legendary in the next season of WoW. And I'm like, yeah, I think that's awesome. I think that having a transmog and item that's like hyper powerful and really hard to get is fucking brilliant. I think that like, yeah, they should totally have that for Halo Infinite, where it's like, yo, bro, did you get diamond? Here's this fucking, like, I think each rank of ranked should give you something like that.
Yep. Agreed.
I think that would be really cool. Like, yo, bro, did you get to, I think the highest rank is master. Here, bro, here is a fucking, like, ridiculous skin.
Right.
Yeah. But, and this goes back to the, like, well, it's a free-to-play game, so,
It'd be nice if they dedicated some of their resources to making cool stuff like that, but obviously they can't spend all their resources making a whole bunch of stuff like that.
No, especially because I am willing to bet that this game is not getting a ton of like love from its development team because of
all the bullshit
it didn't do what it needed to do.
Yep.
I will say I am more hopeful for this game than ever, though, because the team this game launched with one development team that most of that team no longer works on the game or exists.
Right.
It's what 343 did is they laid off most of the Infinite team and moved the MCC team onto working on Infinite.
Interesting.
And that's what's been happening the past 2 seasons, which also might be a part of why the past 2 seasons have been really good and having a lot of content coming out, and Forge is mostly fixed.
Yeah.
Like it's like, you know, it's like, all right, well, you would assume the people who want to work on MCC are big Halo fans,
Right.
right?
You would think.
So maybe having really big Halo fans also work on your current Halo game is the best idea here.
Right. Yep.
You know, versus I'm gonna be honest, one thing that always came across in 343's interviews is like, we want to change Halo and make Halo our own. It's like, don't do that.
No one wanted that.
No one wants you to change Halo. Halo was good the way it was.
They had figured it out, man.
Yeah, like I am sorry that like, yeah, everybody and their mom is gonna go like talk about Bungie forever
Yeah.
because they made an amazing game that you are now running. And then it seems like this new team is like, nah, man, we get it. Like, we understand. We understand what made Halo the shit.
Yeah.
We got you.
We'll see as time goes on. We can hope that things continue to get better.
I mean, yeah, like, and the thing is like, I think that this is a big step in the right direction. This is not Halo 5 where this was a really good game that was a really good competitive game, but also didn't feel entirely like Halo.
Right.
Then there's like Halo 4, which just like, it had a good campaign that felt like a Halo campaign, but its multiplayer just felt like Call of Duty with shields.
Right.
Like that was weird. So Halo Infinite, it feels like Halo. Like it feels like a Halo game where they added better movement. You know,
it's
like
definitely
that,
an updated Halo.
Yeah,
for sure, you do feel that. But it makes sense. This is like if Halo had kept going unabated. I feel like this is the natural
if Halo
game.
4 did not try and chase Call of Duty and just was Halo.
Yep.
This is what it would have evolved into, instead of like spending those, like 9 years wandering in the desert.
Right. Yes.
You know,
they for the most part figured it out. Add some good movement, have some fun equipment.
add good movement and a clamber, but also keep vehicles and keep it being about weapons, grenades, and melee, and controlling map and spacing and all this other
power weapons.
Very Halo shit.
Yep.
You know, it's just like, like making it so you don't like die when looked at.
Right. Yeah. Make sure there's a fight.
Like that was like, once again, Halo 4 was a I remember, I very distinctly remember my Halo 4 review, because I gave it a 9 out of 10. And I remember saying, this is a really good video game, but it is a kind of middling Halo game.
Right.
You know, like that's like, and I remember, and that was like even like a little bit after launch when I reviewed it.
Yeah.
Like I spent like a solid week, and I remember, and and then the Master, it didn't help that in the middle of all that, the Master Chief Collection turned out how it did at launch.
Right. Yes.
Like
it was not a good time.
We all, like, I remember, I have such a weird story with the Master Chief Collection, where I got a review copy of that like 4 weeks early. Like I was shocked. Like, we would send out our review request emails like a month and a half in advance. And then like a week and a half later, they got back to me, and I was playing it. I was like, this is weird how early this is.
Yeah.
I'm playing just like the second to last week of October, and this game isn't out for another like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
4 weeks. What the fuck is happening? And at first, only the campaign was live. And I remember like for some reason the embargo for the campaign was only like select levels for old video games.
Huh.
It was very strange. just like Halo 5, I was doing the review for that too, and I remember the fucking I remember them giving me like, you can show levels 1, 2, and 9. I'm like, what the fuck? Why 9?
Right.
So yeah, that was a very interesting time.
Yeah.
But anyway, the Halo story was the MCC story was, and I played through the campaigns of all of them over the course of like a week, and I'm like, well, all of them function and all of them are fun, and they
Right.
look a lot better.
Right.
So mission accomplished. I was one of the lucky people that I didn't get any of the campaign glitches that a lot of people talked about. I was very lucky in that sense, I guess.
Okay.
Which, this is why it goes back to campaign. This is why game testing is hard. It's like, well, I did an entire run. I didn't have any issues of all 4 campaigns, or 5 campaigns. Excuse me, Halo Reach.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that was, and then like 2 weeks later, they're like, okay, the multiplayer is live. You can play with other journalists. And I wasn't getting matches like at all. And I was very confused. I was like, okay, I guess maybe they just didn't send out a lot of review copies.
Right.
Maybe that's it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait till play like prime time, like when most people would be like doing a review of this game.
Yeah.
Or like, and like still like nothing. I would get like 1 match every 2 hours. Yeah. And I was like, and I remember getting an email from 343 being like, or Microsoft PR being like, yeah, we realize the game is like broken, or like, but this is gonna be fixed on launch day. Don't worry. So you can all try the multiplayer for your reviews. We're gonna set up a bunch of custom games. And I ended up in custom games with IGN's Alfredo Diaz and a bunch of people from like USA Weekly or some shit.
Sure.
And like, it worked. I had a good time, but I remember going to Nick, our editor in chief and person who like was kind of in charge of the little shebang, me like, yeah, this review isn't going to run on launch day on embargo lift. I'm not going to run this. And he's like, why not? Because we were not able to play a multiplayer in a matchmaking environment, which is how like the vast majority of people are going to play this.
Yep.
Like, that's why. So I went ahead and I said, okay, I'm gonna wait for and the launch day patch comes out, doesn't fix it. And I'm like, sorry, Nick, can't run the review. And they said, okay, there's gonna be another patch in like 2 weeks that should fix it. I'm like, all right, Nick, I'm gonna wait until that patch is out. If it works, I can give a full review. If not, then I'll just.
Which is generous at this point. Like,
yes, this is because I wanted, because other than that, it was like perfect. Like those custom games, I was like, oh, this is Halo ass Halo.
Right.
And it's all of them. And the patch comes out. It fixes it a little bit, but not much. So, and I end up, I was like, all right, Nick, I got the final review. Sorry, it's 2 weeks late. You can blame them for that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I make content for people, not robots. Oh my god, I was listening to the Jeff Gerstmann show earlier this week, and he's just like, I really hate SEO and chasing SEO.
Yep.
I like to make content for fucking people, not robots.
Yeah.
And well, there you go.
This is the world we live in now.
Yep. So, but anyway, back to what I was saying though is, so I put the review out and I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. I was like, if you want to play all the Halo campaigns the best possible way you can, this is the way to do it. But if you are here for the multiplayer, this package is fucked.
Yep.
And you should not play this until it is unfucked.
Mm-hmm.
And I was one of the lucky people because it was weird because it affected different people differently depending on your network conditions and where you lived. I was one of the lucky people where the February update, so 4 months after launch, the February update mostly fixed it for me, so me and Ray could play matches together and like get matches just fine. But some people literally were not able to get matches until well into the following year.
God, that game was so fucked. It was
Yeah,
so bad.
they gave everyone ODST for free though, as an apology.
Which fine. Okay.
Great, yeah, sure, why not?
Uh,
Yeah, that was. But it's good to see Halo back on the come up. MCC is mostly fixed, other than the Halo 2 campaign for us.
right, yeah.
And to be fair, it was only one mission, but man, I still want to go back and do it for the achievement.
I know.
Every time
I was looking back, I was like, I'm still missing that achievement. Shit.
every time I log into my Xbox, it's like you're 96% you're 96% of the way there, completing Halo 2 heroic co-op, and I'm like, I know I am. I'm very well aware of this. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
But yeah, no, it was. It's good to see this long-running beloved franchise in a better place.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't play anything else? Just the Halos?
No, I was just checking out Halo. That's all I did.
That sounds like a great day.
Yeah.
Great set of days.
It was not bad. I just needed some Halo, and it felt like home, so it was good.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know that this was a victory pose. I'm gonna look it up in this match I just played. There is a victory pose for your character where he is doing the Heisman, but with a skull.
Oh, that's fun. All right, that's fun.
That's fantastic.
Epic. That is so epic. I want to see that.
Oh my god, that is
that is some top tier
level
shit.
Yeah, that's pretty great. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. So, yeah. Well, I also played a bunch of other Xbox games. Fun fact.
Yeah, let's get through those.
So I played some Lies of P.
Okay.
And then I got to the point in Lies of P where I was just like, this is very much a Dark Souls like.
Mm-hmm.
And I do not have the spoons for this.
Right.
If I'm going to be playing Dark Souls in my downtime.
Yeah.
So, or in my stream time.
Right.
So, yeah, this is a great game. It's a fucking awesome game.
Okay.
Yeah, it's super good if you like, especially if you like Bloodborne and Bloodborne's parry system and art. Like, this is the closest we've gotten to Bloodborne 2, in my opinion.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But it is very much more like, if you go into this and you're like, I love the art and story that this is showing off in these trailers and in this gameplay, I'm just like, just be aware you're going to be playing a Dark Souls game.
Right.
Full warning.
That's what it is. That's what it wants to be. That's what it is.
Yep. Yeah. It's exactly 110%. So be aware of that, I guess, is what I will say.
Okay.
As for the other stuff, I started the new FF14 patch, and then I was just like, I cannot focus on this amount of reading right now. Because I was sick all week. I was out of it until, like, in all honesty, like Tuesday.
Right.
And like, realistically, I wasn't mostly recovered until Saturday afternoon. So like a full week and a day. So like, I tried playing that game and there was just so much reading. I was just like, I can't do it. Yeah, especially because like it's a lot of repeating points, and I'm just like, I know what's happening in the story.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
So I just kind of, which is a shame because the general slower pace of that game is great when you're sick.
Right.
But then I tried playing retail WoW, and like, sick brain could not keep up with the pace. So I decided I'm gonna go log into Classic, because Classic is slow as dirt.
Sure.
And yeah, no, WoW Classic, even WoW Classic Hardcore is like perfect when you're sick.
Okay.
You couldn't ask for a better game to play when you're sick. Most of what you do is walking.
Right. Right. Exactly. You have to walk from one area to another all the time.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of walking and a lot of killing like 3 mobs at a time. Great, awesome. It's just I'm playing hardcore, so it's a little spicier, a little scarier. Me and Stella put some time into the RE4 DLC.
Okay.
We got to chapter 5 out of 7. All right, how would you like to play RE4's gameplay?
Sure. Yes.
How would you like that, but with a grappling hook to get around?
Hell yeah. All right.
And the grappling hook can also pull shields away from shield dudes.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. It's more RE4.
Gotcha.
It gives you a bunch of context for what Luis and Ada were doing in the story. They add a bunch of new set pieces. They reuse areas, and like in the old game, you're like, how the fuck would I get up there? And then you realize, oh, it was for the DLC with Ada's grappling hook. So that was kind of cool to go back through those old areas and kill dudes in them, but with like extra knowledge and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was neat. I tried that My Hero Academia Battle Royale that came out. It's free to play.
Oh yeah?
It kind of reminds me of like every Battle Royale that is not Warzone, PUBG, or Apex, in the sense that like it's enjoyable. And I am enjoying getting to like play with my favorite My Hero characters, but it definitely feels overwhelming at times, and also kind of like this game was made on a budget. Like a very like I'm enjoying it, because like it's very different to have a battle royale game that is like partially melee focused.
Mm-hmm.
Like every character has a ranged attack, but some of them are better than others.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then every character has an ultimate that they can save up their currency for and bust out their ultimate. I don't know. I might want to give it a look on stream with people, but like I guess the best way I would describe it is like it's fine. Like it's good. It's generally good. I would say I enjoy it more than I enjoy Naraka Blade Point, which is another melee focused
right
battle royale.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that these characters really do fit battle royale pretty well. They actually do the Holy Trinity. Like they have a support character, a tank character, and a DPS character as like their ideal squad.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that's actually really cool. So like, you need your big damage like a Todoroki, and then you need a tank like an All Might or a Deku. I love that my 2 favorite characters from the fucking show are tanks.
Of course.
That is
I'm not surprised.
Hilarious.
Not the slightest.
So like tanks are kind of meant to draw damage and really disrupt people, support, heal people in better positioning, and then damage is damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, speaks for itself. So yeah, I don't know. I genuinely liked it.
Okay.
I just kind of need to play more of it to get a better idea. Like if you like Battle Royale and you like superheroes or My Hero Academia, you'll probably enjoy it.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah.
That's about what they were going for.
Oh, and they actually do have they actually have 2 different types of DPS. You have like DPS, and then you have like DPS that does less damage but has like really good movement abilities.
Ooh.
So like you have like Ida, which can like run around super fast, or you have fucking what's their name? Uravity, who can like float and shit.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, like having the different powers is really cool and diverse. And they did find a way to give kind of everyone a ranged move, a melee move, a big damaging attack. And it's free to play on fucking everything. So
that's nice.
Yeah, so go play My Hero Ultra Rumble. I will say that this does not stop my want or my need of a. This does not stop my want or my need of a My Hero Fighters.
Right.
That Arc system works.
Yep.
You did Dragon Ball Fighters, and you made basically the perfect fighting game.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to do this again, but with My Hero Academia. All right.
Will they though? Is the question.
No, they'll probably do One Piece first, and I'll be big fucking mad about it because I don't like One Piece. But you know,
It is
I
what
will.
it is, right?
I will settle if you want another franchise that would be perfect for a DBFZ style fighting game. Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want you to think about that. Think about Yu Yu Hakusho, and think about doing a Marvel like with Yu Yu Hakusho.
Good lord.
Dude, that would
Yeah.
be epic.
Yeah. Fucking super awesome. So yeah, that put some time into that. Then I did Counter-Strike 2.
Mm-hmm.
Counter-Strike 2 it's more Counter-Strike but prettier. Like, it's prettier Counter-Strike. So
Cool.
all your stuff carries over, all your everything carries over. The stuff they were advertising about smoke effects is totally true.
Okay.
That stuff was sick, I'm not gonna lie. Like, on a technical level, I'm like, I see how this could be cool for gameplay and how this is really interesting. I'm not good enough at Counter-Strike, nor do I want to be good enough for this to matter.
Mm-hmm.
But this is fucking legitimately cool. And yeah, I don't know. It's fucking Counter-Strike, bro.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know, maybe me, you, and Ninja should fucking set up one Tuesday where we go in and play some Counter-Strike.
I've never played a Counter-Strike before, so that'd be fun.
Really?
Nope.
Wow. Okay,
I mean, I haven't either, so it's okay.
Yeah, but he's been PC gaming a little longer than you. But
That's fair.
I could tell from like looking at it. It's like I'm more of a Halo guy than a Call of Duty guy. Like I'm not.
And this is like Call of Duty on bath salts.
Yeah,
Like,
I was like, I saw stuff going on in Counter-Strike. I'm like, I'm good. Good luck to y'all.
yeah, like
when I heard Valorant was like a Counter-Strike light, I was like, and then all that stuff happened. So.
And then they were like, "Hey, we're gonna install a rootkit on your computer," and I was like, "Neat. I'm not gonna fuck around with you."
Right.
Yeah, I tried Counter-Strike Source when it came with my copy of Half-Life 2, and it was not for me. I ended up playing a bunch of Half-Life 2 Deathmatch instead for my multiplayer with Half-Life 2. And then I tried it again when Joe got me CS:GO for Christmas.
Okay.
1 year, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, this is. I could see why this is appealing and cool and fun. This isn't for me. And then I played like 4 matches of Counter-Strike 2 and was just like, yep, I totally see how you could make this appealing to a bunch of people who like Counter-Strike and keep them playing. And I mean, it's obviously incredibly popular because it's the #1 game on Steam the past 2 weeks.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, yeah, we may have to check out Counter-Strike 2 sometime.
Yeah, we can get owned in Counter-Strike 2.
Exactly.
Great.
No, that's all. That's what it is.
The last 2 games on my list of just me playing a ton of stuff the past 2 weeks. Sea of Stars.
Oh, that's right. You've been playing a lot of Sea of Stars.
Yeah, you've been I was scrolling through your Twitter earlier, and I was just like, damn.
I'm about 5 hours in. That game is super charming.
Is it?
The story is really simple but really good. Like, it's like a fairly simple setup, but I like all the characters a lot, especially Garl. Like, he's fantastic. Lots of really good jokes, especially when you get to the pirate people. Like, the combat system's a lot of fun. It does the South Park Paper Mario thing, where like, yes, you still select attacks like a turn-based JRPG, but if you time your button presses, you'll do more damage when you attack, or you'll take more damage when you block.
Sick.
So yes, some specials have, like, some magic abilities have stuff like that, where like the one that is the most satisfying is the battle monk. Valair has this ability called Moonerang, which you cast a moon ability and it hits the enemy, and if you time the deflect, it goes and back, and it can go forever as long as you are fast enough to keep reflecting.
Damn.
Oh, shit.
But it keeps speeding up the more you reflect.
Nice.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you can get some really crazy kills off with that. So there's that. There's a simple one that's like, hold the button to charge, and the more you charge it, the more damage it does, the more mana it uses. But yeah, so it's a very fun turn-based, that's a very fun turn-based thing that I feel is really enjoyable. So I'm trying to think if there's really anything. The music is spectacular. I can't get over how good the music is.
Nice.
Like, it's so good. The music is so good. Depending on how much more involved the combat gets, because it's a 35-hour JRPG. Made by Americans. But depending on how the story goes and the characters go and the combat evolves, I could totally see this being one of my top games of the year.
Nice. Awesome.
Like, it is a fantastic JRPG.
Cool.
Like, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I really love it. I honestly, looking at like all the games I've played this year, like, if it keeps doing what it's doing and evolving in interesting ways, I could see it being like in my top 5.
Cool. Hell yeah.
So, if you like really enjoyable adventure games with cool casts of characters and relatively fun combat, yeah.
Awesome.
So
glad to hear it.
Yep. Next up and last on my list is the bastards at Microsoft got me. So Forza Motorsport hit early access, like its 5 days early thing, on Thursday, and I wasn't gonna do it because I was like, oh, I'm gonna just play through Game Pass, so it's not really like something I want to worry about. But then they're like, hey, if you have Game Pass, what you can do instead is pay $35, get it 5 days early, and get a permanent 2x boost to currency, a bunch of currency up front.
Jesus.
And a handful of really sick cars.
Shut up and take my money right now.
And I was just like, and I talked to Ninja and asked him, is this game good? He's like, yeah, it's pretty good. There's maybe some performance issues on PC, but other than that, like, it's really enjoyable.
It's pretty solid.
And so I was like, $35 isn't that much. Let's do it. And I played it, and I heard that there were different performance stuff across all 3 versions, and I like went and I tried all 3 versions and messed around with it. So I did not experience this. So I want to make that very clear. But apparently the PC version has like this weird bug that you'll continually drop FPS over time until you reset the game.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird. Like, you'll start at like 70 and it'll go to 65 after a couple races, and then 60, 55.
Drops it down further and further and further and further. Shit.
Apparently it's gonna be fixed by a day 1 patch.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't experience this.
Okay.
I didn't get this one. But this goes back to the whole, that's why QA is hard and why they should be paid well.
Right. Yeah.
But so I guess I'll go through different. I'll start with the PC version. The PC version, when you put everything all the way up for graphics, looks fucking incredible.
Really?
I cannot express to you how good the PC version of this game, when you crank everything to the max on my 1440p monitor, fucking looks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it looks fucking incredible.
Cool.
So that's something to consider.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. From a gameplay standpoint, yeah, it's they improved the physics in a meaningful way. Like it's not like a huge improvement, but it is an improvement and it is enjoyable. I feel the thing that's most improved is the damage. Like, when you hit cars in Forza in the past, it wasn't like Gran Turismo, where Gran Turismo feels like fucking bumper cars.
Mm-hmm.
But it was also always just a little like it didn't have a lot of impact. Versus this genuinely has a lot of fucking impact.
Right.
Like when you hit a dude, you see some sparks and you hear like a loud fucking noise, and it's like, oh shit, this like almost feels like a real car wreck.
Damn.
You know. So that's cool. Yeah, and then they fixed one of the big things that the franchise has. Like, people would like do the first set of races, get a car, fully upgrade it, and then just blow the AI out of the water. So what they did is they linked car upgrades, getting upgrades for your car, to leveling up your car. So at least your first handful of races with a car, you're not going to be automatically blowing people out of the water.
Okay.
So that is a thing there. They do the standard career mode where it's like, hey, now you need to race with this kind of car, and now you need to race with this kind of car. Now you need to do a series of races with this kind of car. One thing that drives me fucking crazy, though, that they've added to the career mode, and I fucking hate it, and I want them to make it so I can turn it off, is they have this thing where before you do a race on a track, they're like, go complete 3 practice laps. And I'm like, why? They're just like, just go do it. Go complete 3 practice laps.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay. So you have to do this before every race.
Oh.
And the thing is like, you can skip it after the tutorial. After the tutorial in career mode, you can press start at the beginning of your practice lap, hit skip practice. It's like, hey, you'll forfeit currency. And it's like, that's fine. I don't fucking care. So I go ahead and I do that, but it means I have to load into the practice lap every single time. You can't skip it from the menu.
Okay. Well,
And I get that I understand why. It's to get you to understand the layout of the track so you're not blindsided by stuff and to give you some extra money. That's fine. The problem is, I know most of these tracks because I've been playing these fucking games since I was 12.
Right.
Or what? The first Forza came out in 05, May of 05, so I was 14. You know? And yes, they've added some new tracks. Yeah, and one big complaint I've understood is people don't think there's enough tracks. There's a lot of cars, not enough tracks.
Okay.
So those are all some things that you may want to consider. The game itself seems pretty cool for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know.
We'll see how that goes as time goes on. How that game develops.
I'm very curious.
Right.
Because this kind of game feels like it has to be so built to be a free-to-play game.
Right.
And even right off the bat here, I'm like looking at this like currency thing for getting the premium edition. Oh yeah, with this premium thing, you also get the season pass as part of it as well.
Nice.
I forgot to mention that.
Okay.
So, you know, it's like it's a good game, and I feel like it is the best Forza in a while. Like probably the one I've enjoyed most since 4, at least like right off the bat. And the menus are the least fucked.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah.
Well, cool. All right. And you got a lot of games in there.
I did. Hey man, guess what? When you're stuck at home all day and you can't really leave your house because you don't want to infect other people.
Right.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. So you end up playing a lot of video games, and it ends up being pretty sick. So speaking of racing games though.
Yes.
Hey Emily, what is this Disney Speedstorm thing? I love how every week Emily comes to us with some game where I'm like, what the fuck is this?
What is this? I haven't heard of this.
Yeah, that tracks. So it actually just came out. It's free to play for all platforms, PlayStation, Xbox, mobile, for you mobile players. It was in early access for a little while, kind of like what Dreamlight Valley is now. And it's actually made by the same guys that do Dreamlight Valley, but it's their answer to Mario Kart.
Okay.
But with a bunch of Disney characters.
Huh. Yeah.
So you have your Mickey and Friends, you have Lilo and Stitch, you have Jungle Book. The new season right now is Aladdin. So you can have Aladdin, Jasmine, Jafar, and Genie.
Okay.
As your racers.
Cool.
I'm down for this. What is it? Does it play like Mario Kart or CTR?
It does play like Mario Kart. Like you have these little like box-looking things that you drive through, and it gives you a power-up. You can either like flip the driver's perspective. You can use a shield, but green protects you and red stuns your enemies, like if they hit you. You have your speed boost. You can do tricks when you hit certain jumps. Your ultimate is really cool depending on the character. Let's see.
How do you charge ultimate up?
You press the triangle button, and then it goes.
That's it? You just press triangle while you're doing shit?
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, that's your... If you hold down the triangle button, it activates your power-up. But if you hold it down, it charges it. Let's see. And all the different racers are different. They have their different style. Like, you have your speedster, you have your trickster, you have your brawler, and you have your defender.
Okay, so it's a little Mario Karty in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's a lot of fun right now. Like, I've been playing since it was released, like worldwide. So end of September. So about a week and a half now.
Okay.
Which oddly enough is how long I've been playing on my PS5.
Nice, very nice. And this is free to play, I imagine.
It is free to play, yeah. So just find it on your game shop, and you have to do a starter circuit, which is basically your tutorial stage. But after that, go nuts.
Okay, sounds awesome.
Awesome. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna play that once we're done here because I missed my dailies yesterday, and I need to teach these kids a lesson.
Right.
You damn kids.
With my level 17, Jasmine.
You're going to show them a whole new world.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, that joke is coming.
Of pain.
Yeah. Joke is coming back to me, and I love it.
Good.
So yeah, I've been playing that. I've also been playing Ratchet.
Which one?
Rift Apart.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's kind of still in my mind like the big showcase for like, here's what a PS5 can do.
And yeah, they proved it.
Yeah, it looks solid. To this day, like
pretty.
People ask me like what's the game? Or it's just like
that defines the console.
Really shows off what this new gen tech is about. I'm gonna be like,
Ratchet and Clank.
Play Ratchet, and I realize this may seem weird, but play it in its 30 FPS full 4K mode. Like it is so goddamn good looking.
And it really is. Like, I'm probably, let's see. God, I can't remember where I'm at right now, but it's just I just finished Blizzard. That's where I am. So I'm like,
I don't know where that is.
Bronson does.
Yeah, Bronson does.
Okay. Is that like the mining planet, or which planet?
It is. It is the mining planet.
Gotcha.
The face quartz.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, that's where you have that like rail grinding with the portal stuff. Yeah, it's sick. That's really good.
Sick, but it was a pain in the ass.
Really? There was no part of that game where I was like, this is really hard.
Well, I mean, that last fight.
Oh, yeah, I can see
right at the end. That was the pain in the ass. But otherwise, it wasn't that bad. It was fun. And I love all the little anomalies that you're fixing as your spectral clank.
Yeah, that's
the little puzzles. Those are fun, and I'm having such a good time.
Fantastic. Okay.
All right.
And that's about it for me.
Cool.
All right. Cool. All right. I think that's a show, everybody.
Is that a show?
That's a show. We got a long show this week.
We had a lot of news to cover, and we played a whole bunch of games.
We did.
We did. Holy shit.
Yeah. Gaming.
Hell yeah.
'Tis the season.
No kidding. All right. So we're going to try and stream some Halo Tuesday. Thursday, we're going to try and jump back on that Dark Souls. And otherwise, yeah, we'll be checking the social medias. We'll be hanging out on our Discord. Feel free to check us out there. And yeah, that's a show. So everyone have a fantastic rest of your Sunday, rest of your week. Enjoy yourselves.
Bye, guys. We love you.
Bye, guys.